to roll. Don't fall.
Hell no, bro. I hope I don't fall. What it do, brother Foo?
How's it going?
First off, let's cheers.
Definitely.
Both with a little bit of a hangover.
It was a long night. Let's leave it at that. Don't ever lose beer pong. It's not worth it. Especially when the ones convincing you are very convincing.
Was it a friend of ours that we both know?
Oh, no. This is just two buddies of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We all know who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. They know who they are.
Yeah, dude. Broski, first of all, dude, I always met you at parties and found out that you work with a friend of mine, and we just always threw up a conversation, and you just seem like a guy that has things going for himself, and even though you're a young dude, just you have ambitions and things like that, and we just kind of clicked off of that, you know. So I don't even know that much about you, but I mean, this is why I got you on here, because I'm pretty fascinated with people that I find unique or whatever. First off, I don't even know how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay, 22. I had another cat that's 22 yesterday, so yeah. So for 22, having your your goals and ambitions kind of aligned, or at least a vision for yourself, that's pretty cool. And it's not the way that you talk about it, it seems like you're not just talking, you really are trying to do the things that you want to do. And so basically kind of reiterate what exactly inspired you to do you do real estate, you're going into it.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you again, and what are you trying to achieve?
Well, it started when I was younger, a lot younger, and I like to tell people that I'm a straight arrow in the sense where I set my mind to something and I'll be assuming I like it, I'll be going towards it until I achieve it. So actually in middle school, I had an uncle. He was a broker. His name's Roman. I'm actually heading to his house after this place.
Nice.
He has a pool party, and that's another reason. It's a huge house, and he's a broker, as I mentioned, and I liked the way he lived. I liked the what he did as a job. I liked his lifestyle. I, in a way, strive to be like him career-wise.
Yeah.
I have a little bit different hero in my life, as in a role model, a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But for career-wise, success, achievement, and just lifestyle in general, I liked what he was doing. And I was like, okay, so you could achieve that with real estate. First of all, free time. Being able to set your own schedule and commit yourself to your own time, that was a big factor for me.
Yeah.
So somehow I realized that in middle school.
Yeah, you're I don't want to be a 9 to 5. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah, I like the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh yeah, it
Mhm.
makes you think in a different way than most people think.
And I read it when I was young, so that could have influenced it. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, a lot of people got influenced by that. I know I did. I was like, oh man, I just didn't really do a whole lot to to strive towards that after I did. A lot of people.
Hey, we're sitting here now.
Exactly. It only took me, a couple of years.
A little bit. But ever since then, I just told everybody, it's look, this is my end goal, or at least the beginning, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I was striving for. As soon as I turned 18, I started going for my license, and I also went to college. I was going for a business degree while taking realtor classes in college, so I was getting a lot more educated in realtor stuff.
Mhm.
And when I joined Keller Williams after I got my license, it kind of just started off from there. I had to commit myself, and that was a huge thing, because when you're going into real estate, it's big. It's a big step, because not everybody's going to take you seriously right off the bat.
Yeah.
Most people don't, in fact.
Mhm.
You get made fun of a lot, especially for somebody being a lot younger. They're going to just talk to you like you don't know anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had to basically have a second job, or my first job for that time. I was a manager at a pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saving up money so I could actually go into real estate, because you basically need to have a cushion of funds to be able to start off any type of business. Real estate is self-employed business.
Yeah.
And you have to treat it like that, or you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And That's why I saved up money to be able to do that.
Dang. So you not only did you have a dream, like you kind of thought it through and planned it out and put in some shit to actually make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, who was it's
Nice.
still it's always a battle. It's always a battle of emotional strength
Yeah.
and trying to commit yourself to wake up every morning and fight the hangover.
Right. And there's gonna be days where you're just like, I don't want to do it, but then you start like, doing the rounds and
Mhm.
you just get back into the game.
On the way here was one of my biggest challenges so far.
Yeah, you went to a different apartment complex and all this.
It was bad. I told him, I was like, he's like, hey, you're running a little late, and I was like, I know. I'm on the phone right now. Trust me, I want to be in your apartment as much as possible.
No, at first, like I have you in the schedule at 12. So then
Mhm,
you tell me you're gonna be 11:30. I'm like, oh, he's gonna be early.
mhm.
That's cool. And then like it's 11:46, and you're still not here. I'm like, well, did you mean 12:30 or 11:30? And he's like, yeah. Were you on the phone with the client
I was on
or?
the phone with the client. I called them right when I left, and it was a 15-minute drive. So I was like, "This is gonna be fine." They didn't pick up. Called me about 7 minutes before I pulled up, and it
Yeah,
was
you
easily
got to
like
handle, dude.
15-minute conversation. I was like, "Man."
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's all good. No, I always I'm respectful of that
Hmm.
because you got a job. Everybody's got to take care of what they got to take care of. Who's your guy that inspires you? You said like your
Inspiration, my
yeah,
hero in a way.
yeah. Roman was your like financial inspiration,
Hmm.
and what your actual inspiration is like.
It's they're almost contradictory,
Or you
but
have to have
but
them.
it's actually Roman's father.
Okay,
Roman is my uncle, as I mentioned, and his father is my grandpa.
okay.
And my grandpa passed away when I was 17, which actually is what pushed me to move out of my house.
How's that?
I'll explain in a second. But
Hmm.
essentially, my grandpa passed away, and he passed away from a heart attack, and he passed away actually right in front of me.
Oh
And
man,
he was always my hero. That was the person I strove to be, and the reason for that was he never got mad.
yeah,
I never saw him get mad. And I'm
yeah,
talking about I all my every with the Russian family, with the Russian community that
yeah.
we
It's
live
almost
in.
like that doesn't exist. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
that
Yeah,
you can't see that happen. And my grandpa was always cool, and he was this huge dude. He had power. When you shook his hand, you felt his furious force that he's gentle with. And I'm
yeah,
like, this is insane. He used to bench press 300 pounds, and when I was a kid, I kind of compared him to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah.
That's how big his hand looked to me, you know.
Nice.
And just the amount of gentleness, and also he didn't care.
I
he's
love those kind of people.
he's the tank top type of guy, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Did not care, but will also never get mad. Which same thing.
Yeah, it's almost like he was very aware of his emotions and just was in self-control all the time and just strived to be a good person.
And when he passed away, that only hit me harder because I actually had to move in with my grandma. I later on moved out and moved in with my grandma to take care of her 24/7
Mhm.
and literally live with her.
Mhm.
And my grandma turns out has been going insane, like insane. Okay, maybe
Dementia.
dementia
Yeah,
and Alzheimer's,
yeah,
but it's been going on for a while. And okay, probably after grandpa died, she probably snapped even more, right?
yeah, yeah.
But it was rough, and seeing all that and remembering the signs beforehand, grandpa was dealing with that. He never mentioned it to anybody.
Dang,
Yeah, nobody knew about it. They could kind of tell, but grandpa was able to like toss it under the rug so we don't treat her differently type of deal.
dang.
And he was just extremely patient. I have never seen and once he passed away, we were all like kind of struggling. Grandma had an attitude, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was really mind-boggling how much patience this man could have. And that's simply the hero in my life. I just strive to be able to not only tolerate but just accept and be able, I don't want to say deal with, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to be able to respect and appreciate everybody the way he did.
Dude, that's freaking inspiring. Honestly, like I always I always almost like get emotional when like I I hear those kind of stories because uh like to become that kind of person or to just be that kind of person and strive to be that kind of person, it takes a lot of work. And um, but when you meet those kind of people, they literally will transform your life. I strive for that myself, but I know, like when you talked about your grandpa, I was just trying to picture myself in his shoes, and I'm just thinking like, oh my god, man, I don't even know how I'd be able to deal with all that, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. So.
Like, let me put a finger on it. With my grandma, I was taking care of her. I
Mhm.
ended up just getting, you know how it is. I got a salvage car. It just got delivered one day,
Yeah, yeah.
completely dirty, right? And it was a Honda Civic at the time. I was still saving up,
Mhm.
and essentially all airbags deployed. You know, cut off the way they get it. Front demolished. Front windshield cracked.
Mhm.
Grandma loves car rides. She ends up, I just got in the car first time, right? For front seat. I see grandma get into the passenger side of the front
Uh-huh.
and just squeeze herself in. I was like, Grandma, you're not gonna fit in there. And the seat was fully to the front, maybe had like this much space. And she's a big woman,
Uh-huh.
right? She did not process that the car was broken. She shoved herself in there and was like, all right, let's go for a drive.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was like, this car's not functional.
Yeah, so you have to have the patience to
Hmm.
explain to that person, and then yeah, man, like honestly, that kind of stuff, um um it could wear you down. But just like anything, like let's say anger, right?
Hmm.
You see a lot of anger people, but there's a lot of people that used to be angry, and now they're just like completely like have a sense of humor about things and all this other stuff, and almost nothing like really gets them um, worked up. It's possible to work on yourself to be more patient, to be less angry, to be less emotional, and things like that. But you have to put in that work.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, like I always think of like those tough situations. We're all I think most people in their heads, they think, oh, if I was in that situation, if I blah, blah. But man, when you're in that kind of situation now talk,
Hmm. For
it's,
sure.
it's a lot harder than it actually seems. Um, dang, dude. But that's inspiring. And so you basically just try to be more like him. Do you read books or anything like that would help you? Because one
Um,
thing is like seeing a person, another thing you could read a lot of amazing books that'll help you get on your way.
yes and no. If you're talking about specifically like my grandpa to be more like him, no, unfortunately, that's a good idea. Haven't thought about it. I've read more along the lines of business books, psychology. I was huge on
Oh,
psychology.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's the
love
jam. That's where you'll find like your inspiration to be like, your education to be more like your grandpa,
Hmm.
because he understood some things intuitively, I think, but like you could just read it and you could understand it more.
Yeah, in a sense. But the thing is, I didn't read it with the intention of being more like him. I read it more on the sense of I want to understand people more, so I could talk to somebody, and it was more on the breaking the walls of the distance between you and me. Putting easy, it's easier for me to put myself in somebody else's shoes now, in compare in comparison to somebody else who is really one sided.
Yeah, that's now I get it because I noticed that about you. Like you're like a younger dude, but um, you're very relatable, and you seem like you have this intuition about people,
Thank
and
you.
like you could kind of talk to people easily and relate to them on like this human to human level. Um, and I guess yeah, it just didn't exactly come completely natural, which is I admire that even more because like for me, a lot of things didn't come natural at all,
Hmm.
and I had to really like just sit there and read books to try to get better at this or that or whatever. So yeah, for sure, man. Like, there's a lot of great books. If I see anything that like I think that would be useful for you, I always love like recommending. I don't throw it out all the time, but for certain people,
Hmm.
I'll just be like, dude, you gotta read this book.
Yeah, I
And
remember you mentioned. I think it was the seven languages of love. Was that
yeah, Seven Love Languages. That's
seven?
one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how useful that's going to be in real estate, but I
Yeah.
guess.
Reason I'm mentioning it is because you recommended it to me earlier. So,
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
That's a good one because like most people don't really even know that like what you might be showing love and affection in which way,
hmm
that person might not even understand it. Because that's not the way that they communicate their love, or that's not how they receive their love. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, yeah, there's one that I always tell people that like want to run a business and things like that, and it's called Who. I think by I'll have to look it up, but it's called Who. It's basically like who do you hire for this position,
Mm.
and um, it really talks about building an amazing team of people, not just like you hire somebody, they their resume was amazing, everything looked great, and then they either quit or they're just not performing like you thought they were going
Bringing it
to.
back to how Elon Musk does his business, right?
Okay, so how does he do it?
Oh, similar to that,
Uh huh.
in the sense where just because they have a good degree does not mean they're going to get hired here, or they will get hired
Yeah.
and won't last long, assuming they can't actually perform.
Yeah.
Performance, mental health, psychology, and actually being able to be intuitive and creative is some of the biggest things for Elon Musk, according to his webinars, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I think that's 100% because um, if you're just focusing on skills, but you don't have the people skills and the creativity to like work yourself out of a problem, then it's not going to help you at all. And what that book actually talks about is find a person that is exceptional. It doesn't even matter if they're even completely doing the exact job that you need them to do, but you see that they're exceptional at doing things and they have the actual skills to be able to succeed in any position that you might put them in. And then create an environment where basically like a fertile soil for that
Where
little
they can
flower to
thrive.
grow. Yeah. So
hmm
whatever they need, things like that, and then encourage them if it's like upper management, have them have like a schedule of like once every 2 weeks or something like that, contacting people that they know that are also exceptional in other fields. They don't even have to be doing the kind of job that you're doing, but just keep contact with them and keep like a little log, because what happens is a lot of times there's an exceptional person doing something else and they could get recruited for like a new position that you might have, because you're like, hey, you keep in contact with them, you're like, and you're kind of a boss, and you find out, hey, we need kind of like this section in our company, and you go bring it up to the higher ups and like, hey, I have a really great guy that like I know is doing well, and he's really great at he's exceptional in his field, and I think he would fit this like exceptionally well.
More on that, and not only that. Interestingly enough, also, as you may know, talent attracts talent. So,
Exactly. Yep.
so if you meet somebody who is just absolutely exceptional in a specific category, you best believe he probably knows a guy or two who,
Exactly.
if
So,
is not either up on par on his level or maybe even more exceptional.
yeah, yeah,
So, it's that there's a big thing in being successful. It's like, look, you got to know connections, in not only your field and many other fields. So if you find somebody who's already up there, odds are he knows people,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it's always good to have
And
those
that's what it
contacts
talks
as
about,
well.
like have an actual like almost like not a rule but whatever, like where those people that are in the management sector of your company, make sure that they have like that's part of their job description, is to like keep contact with people and all that, and just write a little log. We talked for 30 minutes, and just kept in touch, whatever, found out how they're doing. And it doesn't have to be the same person, whatever, like talk to different people. And yeah, for sure, like
hmm
that's how, because some people, it's so strange, especially like in the Russian community. uh they're almost like, uh I got this, I don't want nobody to know, and I'm just gonna hire like yes men,
hmm
instead. Like, dude, you probably are great at a lot of things, but you're probably not that great at some things, and you're gonna hire just people that are exceptionally not as good as you.
Yeah,
and
they have a power like problem.
yeah, yeah, instead they're not realizing, hey, and instead just invite like amazing people that will help your company grow, and you'll learn from them. You're actually going to become even better.
Mm-hmm.
But, some people don't understand that.
Yeah, I actually know so many examples. I almost want to play devil's advocate here,
Okay.
saying, okay, I have a business and I just simply need it to run. Yeah, instead of trying to become a huge corporation, I just want my business to run. There's that type of aspect to it,
Okay.
which I think is just so popular for Russians.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll tell you the flip side of that. Let's say
Okay.
you do have a business and you just want it to run.
Hmm.
Have you ever read the book E-Myth?
I'm listening. No.
Entrepreneur Myth.
No.
And it talks about that over there, about basically where if you don't set it up right, that business, it's not going to run. You're going to be putting out so many fires all at the same time. And because you didn't hire the right people, you didn't set it up in the right way to have the right system so it runs like a well-oiled machine. Instead of that business giving you free time, it's going to consume you and ultimately destroy you. So that's why it's really important to really look at how successful businesses run. Let's say you don't want to scale to like a huge business, but at least run it like a thriving business. Because even an employee would want to come into a business that's thriving instead like it's a toxic environment. You know
That's
what I
a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've seen a lot of examples of that. Yeah, that control freak kind of aspect to it, and type A personality. You're just gonna work harder.
So bad.
Yeah.
When I was still working at the pizza place,
Mhm.
I had somebody who was just, I don't know if he was on something, but he was a manager and he basically could have been on something. He was such a control freak. Not gonna say any names, but
Yeah,
it was
that's a
so
management style.
intolerable to be able to work. And this is at a pizza place. This isn't at Amazon.
Oh yeah.
You probably worked at Amazon before that though.
That is a very common management style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it doesn't work. It's intuitively kind of makes sense. People think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna
make it work like a
I'll
well-oiled
be on
machine.
top of everything, and I'll make sure I'm riding everybody's ass and everything. Dude, they're just coming there for a paycheck after a while, and they're just gonna leave because that paycheck is not worth the hassle that you're putting them through.
Mm-hmm.
So
I almost did. He left before me.
yeah, and countless stories, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Countless stories. I've heard it so many times, and those people, unfortunately, don't cure themselves. They just think, oh, I just did that wrong. It's like
I did what I had to do.
Yeah, I think it's in all aspects of our life. We sometimes make mistakes over and over again, and just thinking like, oh, I just needed to change this aspect about it or that. Instead, it's like your whole approach was kind of flawed. You know what I mean? So
it's not always a bad thing looking at it like that. I mean, if you get hung over every single little aspect of your life and try to change everything, you have to go little by little. But you definitely want to change all the negatives, right? For example, being absolutely anal about other people and how they do their job.
Yeah.
But in regards to just like self-observation, you can't change everything in a single night or even in a week.
Yeah. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that
you could
sometimes
also,
you have to zoom out and look at like, is my whole approach just not working? It wasn't that specific situation. It wasn't that specific situation.
Okay.
It's just,
I see your point, but check this out on a thriving perspective. Let's just say you're trying to thrive, and you're working towards your goal. As we mentioned, some of your aspects of your life are not necessarily the best, but you're still working towards it and you're achieving it to some extent. You're getting there, right? You can't just be completely anal on yourself either, as in just seeing it's like, okay, this is bad, this needs to change, and hyper focus on that. You could hyper focus on this problem that you have in your life.
And you're just going to shut down eventually.
Yeah, and you also could just fall into depression. It's like, look, man, I just keep doing this. I can't fix it. And there goes your potential for your business and actually trying to strive just because you're getting yourself down. A big thing in businesses is self-motivation, and that in a way is almost the opposite of it. Not trying to say that you shouldn't do that, you definitely should, but it makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, yeah. Like it, it's a fine balance.
Hmm.
It's definitely a fine balance. Some people don't even pause enough to think,
Hmm.
and others overthink.
Exactly. Overthinking is honestly the worst possible thing you could do.
Yeah, I used to overthink a lot, and instead just do it. Like just
Hmm. For
start,
sure.
and you'll figure it out along the way.
Hmm.
Because this one guy that I follow on Instagram, he younger guy, runs apartment buildings. Like he owns and runs them, like has a management company and everything like that. And he always talked about like, uh, we're gonna just start and fail 3 times before that other person even started, and we're gonna be so much further down the road by the time that person decided to make it all perfect and start.
Hmm.
So just do it.
Yeah, overthinking is actually a problem that I used to have in real estate. That was really stressful, just because I'm managing a transaction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as a real estate agent, part of our job is to be able to explain to you, the client, what the worst case scenario is, and basically also elaborate on the risk of that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And usually when I would see a problem like that, I'd be like, oh no, this is gonna happen. This is set in stone. This worst case scenario. It's like, look, we have
Yeah.
loopholes in our offer. We have loopholes in the contract, and you just expect that the other person is going to use those loopholes to absolutely exploit you into the ground. And it made it really hard to sleep at night. It made it really hard to just function on a daily basis if you're overthinking in the middle of a contract. And I would talk to Andre about it, and he would just like get a headache listening to me. He's like, "Bro, stop! You're overthinking. It does not matter."
Yeah, it's like there's a quote, the fool that suffers before
Hmm.
anything happens suffered twice.
Exactly.
So like you're sitting there worrying everything, like, dude, just forget about it.
Hmm.
It's easier said than done, but like
Definitely.
it's definitely something that you should work on, you know?
Hmm.
I don't know. Life is a beautiful challenge. Like it's a
Hmm.
game, but there's rules to this game, and you could, figure out, better ways to play it. A lot of people just don't put in the work to like read a book or listen to a seminar, whatever it'll change your life sometimes, but some people don't even do it. I'm like actually like very inspired to see like it seems like the younger generation, there's more people that are really like that, where they're working on themselves.
Hmm.
They'll read books. They'll follow people that are inspiring, and not just oh, I'm just watching TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you notice that more? Like, are more of your friends like that versus like
They would enjoy that content more, especially since it's available to the public. Before it either wasn't available to the public, it would only be in seminars. I mean, think about it. Who's successful? Did back in the day, did they really use a lot of technology, or actually provide these YouTube content, this Instagram, just all this content? It just simply wasn't available to the commoner, in the sense that it is now. Mainly because that just wasn't, first of all, wasn't big and wasn't profitable. And if someone's successful, they're only doing things that are profitable.
yeah.
So yeah, I do notice it a lot, just because it's so much easier for everybody to achieve it. And
Exactly. It's out there all the
mhm,
time, on Instagram, whatever, on YouTube. There's a lot of free content out there, and it gets you on that kind of like right consumer train where you're just like, "Oh, this is inspiring," and it's more available out there. That's for sure.
mhm,
Yeah, cuz like literally on Instagram or everywhere else, you'll find that, a lot of great just quotes or little clippets, and you're just like, "Oh, dude, that's sick. I'm going to save that, or I'm going to use that for next time."
mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, like I think you're 100%. Like before, that was just not even a thing. That wasn't even available. Um, yeah, dude.
I had a question for
Yeah.
you. It's
Go ahead.
a little bit off topic, but I was just
No,
curious.
go ahead.
Have you heard about how Amazon might be firing people just based off of their computer or like off their app?
Oh, I saw like a recent thing where like the computer literally was firing them based on, what it was reading into, and then it was just automatically making that choice. So, yeah, tell me about that.
I just think that's crazy. Just thinking about it, you could be fired by a program. And also the way they think, Jeff Bezos, he specifically said that people, this is back into psychology, and also the concept of putting psychology into a computer to dictate your business. Though it will make your business better, is it right? That's the question, right? Because what they did was they realized that people are notoriously lazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually around the 3 year mark, they will be a lot less motivated to work at the same job, and they'll know it so well how to do their job. They're going to be doing the bare minimum to just get their paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
or according to Jeff Bezos statistics.
Mm-hmm. That makes
And
sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. I wouldn't say it's wrong, but it could be. It's pretty morally wrong, because around the 3 year mark, according to other statistics, that's not Jeff Bezos statistics. They actually try to get rid of employees that last longer than 3 years. Specifically, the
At
ones
Amazon?
at Amazon, specifically the ones that are not trying to move up. Like for example,
Oh.
they select a specific few that they're like, okay, you have manager potential. You have potential to move up in the company. But most of the other employees, let's say 99%, 98, right? They are just simply there for 3, 4 years, however long they could survive in that over analyzed environment.
Right? Yeah, that's a little. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yep, that's what I thought.
But in a sense, okay, I'll play devil's advocate, right?
Let's go.
Because you've been in companies. I don't know if you like in your short career. I've been in companies where literally there's a lot of those people, and you go in there being like this happy little fish that's gonna swim upstream, and you're just stuck in a lot of dead weight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole company becomes like that, and then the company culture is, I mean, look at all the most government jobs, you're just
Mm-hmm.
there for a paycheck, sweet little paycheck, and don't got to worry about
Hey,
anything.
I get dental insurance though.
Yeah, yeah, well, I mean, I'm not bagging on that, but I'm saying, you know what I mean, like if
Mhm.
they're worried about the company culture.
Do you think that's what it is? So it's company culture.
Yeah, well, I would be curious how they get rid of those people, like.
They say you're done. Your next week is not on schedule.
Oh, that's it.
It's
Well,
bad.
that's good.
Is it? Okay.
Um,
No, I'm curious. I want to hear what you think.
it's almost cold, but I think it makes sense because yeah, I like right around the 3 year mark. That's when you're just either you figured out everything there is to figure out, or you figured out that you're just unhappy, but you're not ready to make the next move or whatever. But
Mhm.
if I guess the company just tells you, hey, dude, skedaddle.
That's so
It'll
interesting.
make you, because all of my biggest pay raises was going to a different company,
Okay.
not at the same company, and it inspired me to do other things. It's almost like the worst things that happen to you sometimes are the best.
Okay. Let me put it to you from a real estate perspective.
Okay.
I can imagine how this would affect somebody who is like a loan officer.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at somebody who comes in, sees their paycheck, and ends up asking them where they're working, and they say Amazon. They're like, ooh, now that's gonna be a problem.
Oh, I see. I
That's not
see.
gonna be long. This is not something that happens right now, but imagine if it does.
Huh. Yeah, if the word gets out, I guess so. I
It's like,
mean, then you would
okay,
ask him how long you been there.
about 2.5 years now. Ah.
Are you good with the management? Do you think you're going to be going up?
Is your neighbor a higher up?
Yeah, yeah. Or have you been in the same station for the last 2.5 years?
These
There's questions that you could ask.
These questions are oddly personal. I don't feel comfortable
And
answering.
very specific. What are you asking me?
Yeah,
That's true.
that's what I've been thinking about. Just being able to.
She loves you, dude.
Dude,
She gets very needy, man.
it looks like it. No, I mean, I don't mind. Sorry.
Yeah. She'll start biting you.
Oh, will she?
Yeah.
For attention?
If you're, yeah.
She could probably smell my cat on me.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. She likes nice guys. She senses it.
Yeah. Shoot, what was I even saying?
About Amazon and, the longevity and all that. I don't know. Like it's
As a business model, it has to be good, right? I mean, it's working. That's what they've been doing, and Amazon has been the number one biggest company that thrived through COVID.
yeah.
It's
And
insane. It's not
just code. It's
exactly.
okay. Look,
They had to survive that.
Zuckerberg. You know his major was psychology. He was just doing programming on the side.
Mhm.
So everything comes down to psychology, like how you run a business, how you inspire people, everything else. So you have to understand humans in order to be successful, be a successful human, and
Mhm.
run a corporation of successful humans. You know what I mean? And yeah, like it goes back to the same kind of like concept of like, let's say you have a kid, right? Would you want to just coddle them and protect them from everything and oh baby, yeah.
I've been raised like that.
So that's
And
what I'm saying.
I
Amazon
don't approve of
is that kind of company. Is like, hey, dude, get with it.
Okay. Yeah, when I was a kid, there would be a lot of you can't go outside because there's neighbors out there. Let's go, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah. Just drop her down.
So cute. It's
She is. But she's like just needy. Like
Mhm.
when she is like that, you're like, oh, nice. But like when you're like, hey, come here, she's looking at you like,
Are you serious?
who the fuck are you, dude?
Are you really asking me that of me?
Yeah. Like, how dare you?
Mhm.
This is my house.
But yeah, as I was saying, I really like what Rich Dad Poor Dad recommends for just in the way you treat your kids, or like give them the opportunity. Give her to you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She wants to cuddle
Purring
so
all the
bad.
time.
How old is she? Is she young?
She looks a lot younger.
She looks very
'cause she
young.
has that like cute little face.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's already like 2.5 years old.
No way. That's like my cat.
Yeah.
My cat's less cuddly than that.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, so I was raised in a very sheltered environment, and once I broke out of my shell, which was only at around 13, 14, I started like making friends and realizing that there's a whole nother world out there. It was a huge eye opener, and that really pushed me to, it's like, I gotta start reading as many books as possible, because my home is not the only answer, which was a culture shock in its own way.
I'm glad you had that
Yeah.
epiphany though.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to limit my kids like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to teach them. It's like, okay, I'm actually doing that with my brothers right now. I have two little brothers, and whenever they ask me to do something for them, I was like, here's my phone. Go ahead and order this pizza. Negotiate the pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
You think that price is set in stone? No, it's not. There's deals.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm. And
That's awesome.
they in a way, they also like make their own money. For example, like they go out and collect cans, and I would have them return it, and I would tell them, it's like, okay, well, I'll take 10% for driving, and I make them calculate that 10%.
Nice. Yeah, that's perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's in a way where you're preparing your brothers for the real world.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, a lot of parents, they protect their kids up until 18, and they're like, at 18, well, like, go out
Have
there,
fun.
like, like, why
What's
aren't
taking you so long?
Yeah, why don't you have a career? Why don't you have anything figured out? It's like, well, you've been making all the decisions for me, and you think you were teaching me, but you weren't letting me, learn anything on my own.
Unfortunately, no matter how much your parents tell you something, the best teacher is experience.
100%.
Yeah. And usually getting a punch to the face, not literally, but figuratively,
Yeah.
from a mistake, is the biggest indicator. Is like, hold up, that's not what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, you'll learn so much.
Because your parents tell you so much. They tell you, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this,
Yeah.
don't do this, and it becomes nullified. It
Yeah.
really is like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Then you get decked in the face by life, and it's like,
and then you sit back
oh,
and you're
yeah.
like,
I remember that.
let me figure this out. Yeah, because that didn't feel nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Going back to Amazon,
Yeah.
you know, they're a smart parent.
Mm-hmm.
They want a company where it's a company of ass kickers,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And if you're just there for a paycheck, well, we could get a whole bunch of you guys.
You know what? You know what I'm interested in. So obviously, Amazon's not that big of a company, so they don't have too much. Okay, my bad. I said that wrong. They haven't existed for an eternity. They didn't last that long yet. They're still fairly new to some extent. They've what are they? 2004, 2006?
1996, I
No
think.
way. Okay.
1997.
My
Yeah, it was right before the dot-com boom.
oh my numbers are off, but
It's just like they've been in the news for a hot
okay.
second,
Mm-hmm.
you know, since.
It's been a lot more recent.
Yeah, yeah.
But my point is that how what do you have to be as a regular employee to last long there? Do you have to be an absolute madman? I heard there was certain drivers that had to like crap in bags just so they could meet their quota.
Um, I could see it.
That's like crazy. And somebody else proposed like, oh, what if you could have a specific section because like everyone needs to get their delivery fast, right? 1 day delivery. Imagine that's insane for most other places to be able to do that, right?
Look, driving is
But
a hard gig, right?
I've done it. I know exactly what
Yeah.
it is. There's expectations like, hey, where are you? They're always on you for that, yeah, right? But imagine if there's like a secondary option. It's like, hey, $2 more, but nobody has to crap in a bag.
Yeah. I mean, we all want to live in an ideal, world where you could have like the cake and eat it too, and not gain a pound. um, Obviously, like, I think what you're getting at is you don't want to be just like ruthless. It's still humans that you're dealing with,
Exactly, of course.
you know.
And what do you have to do to be able to survive in that type of environment for a long period of time? That's the biggest catch here. They like you for up to 3 years.
Just or that could be an inspiration for you to start doing your own thing
Hmm.
because you're like, well, I don't like the way it's run, whatever. Or let's say you're very successful, you moved up, and then the company expects you to like literally just sell your life to them.
It's kind of like you turning 18 and your parents. The 3 year mark is like you hitting it. The 18 mark's like, all right, are you gonna do something or what?
Yeah, let's say I'm putting in this scenario out, right? Let's
Go
say
ahead.
a lot of management end up having this kind of like crisis. So they moved up because they were hustling, they were working, and now they have a family. Their family is basically getting destroyed because they're never with their family. They're married to their job, but they know if they just pause for a sec, the next guy is right next to them, and he's gonna basically surpass them, and you're not gonna keep on moving up. You know what I mean? So it's like, where do you stop at that point? Like, do you want to create that environment in your company that literally it's a dog eat dog world? Like, obviously, I don't think Bezos wants to create that kind of environment,
You
but
think he's working a lot?
he's not. No, but he did. He did initially. So I think he expects people to put in that dedication and work. But yeah, it just, how do you balance that? Like, how do you create a company that people are inspired, but inspired to work and work amazing and create amazing things at your company, but they don't feel like they have no choice but to work their ass off, because that's not going to be a happy work environment. That's going to be a toxic work environment. And again,
I know people
it
that work
defeats.
at Amazon, by the way. If we could get
It,
into
it
that
sounds like it, huh?
hmm
It sounds like it's a toxic work environment.
Yeah, it was really rough. If you want, I could tell you
Yeah,
some
talk
of
to
it.
me. Yeah, I'm
So,
curious because
uh,
I always hear these stories, but like I
mhm.
don't know.
It's actually a close buddy of mine. I haven't seen him in a bit, but we were pretty close when he was working there.
Uh huh.
And basically, he said you don't develop relationships with anybody in there because you don't really talk to anybody. They don't really let you, or they don't really want you to talk to anybody. You have 10-minute breaks, but the facility is so huge that by the time you get to your break room, you walk there for 4 minutes.
Oh
And
crap!
the walk is your break. You're walking. You're breaking,
Dang,
bro.
that sucks.
And you're just like starving, right? So you end up just gobbling up your food and putting headphones. Don't really talk to anybody. And everybody else is similar to that there.
Yeah.
If you work there, like for example, if you and me started working there together,
Hmm.
sure, I'd talk to you because I know you. But and he's a talkative one,
Hmm.
he's an extrovert. So trying to make conversation with people oftentimes won't be received. When I worked at a pizza, everybody was he bit you.
I know she's biting. That's how much she wants
I
attention.
said, rub me.
I know. That's it. That's it. Go.
Working at pizza, everybody was like a family. There was always that one asshole,
Yeah, yeah.
but everybody else was like kind of like looking at him, was like, "Hey, clear your stuff up. We know you were sleeping on that delivery."
Okay, so that's one example. I'd actually want more, but I'll tell you, I work for Walmart, which
Hmm.
is kind of
Similar, right?
no
No.
opposite.
Whoa.
Yeah, and because they got a lot of flack, for different reasons. Years back, I remember seeing stuff on the news. I don't know what they did, who they hired, but like the work environment, at least on my side, I'm in the transportation side. Uh, dude, they take care of you.
Mm.
Literally, it's like fun to come to work. You feel like you're valued. You feel like you have uh, autonomy. Like, make your own choices, do the right thing. You're not overwhelmed with a bunch of like rules and regulations and everything like that. They're like you're the captain of your own ship.
Hmm.
If you feel like it's unsafe to drive, just stop, whatever. Dude, it's amazing.
That's crazy. I never thought about that. I knew somebody who worked at Amazon. I'm not Amazon, my bad. Walmart as a manager, and she actually ended up switching over to pizza. And same with the Amazon guy, by the way. They both started working at my pizza place, and I kind of recruited them. But yeah, I didn't know that's how Walmart was. That's interesting.
Yeah.
She told me it was kind of rough.
Oh, was she in management in the
She
store?
was a manager, and she's like, I remember having a manager on me, and it was probably a bad manager. That's probably what it was.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And it could be store to store, whatever.
Hmm.
But I know they encourage a kind of like healthy work environment. They value that.
Okay.
I can't speak for like how it is in the distribution centers or any of this other stuff. I know from my aspect of it, bro, like the best job I've ever had.
Okay.
Y-
That's
y-
crazy.
Yeah, not just pay, but also the kind of work environment, like all that.
I stayed at pizza for 3 years. It's not that long, right? But it was 3.5 to be more specific. But honestly, it was great and bad. Like it's one of those work environments where you come there and it's a really busy pizza place, so you're hauling ass the whole time. But you kind of like being there, assuming there's a little break or a little break in the wind. You're able to talk to somebody, and it's enjoyable. It's like a family, as I mentioned, probably similar to your
That,
Walmart experience,
yeah, yeah.
and it was
And
good.
that's super important.
Hmm.
Like, because I've worked for a company before that. I mean, great in a lot of ways, but the work environment was not.
Hmm.
a lot of a lot of dudes just there for the paycheck, or this and that. Um, but dude, credit where credit is due. The guy went from nothing to build it up. It's awesome. But yeah, like I said, at our Walmart distribution kind of like logistics department of it, a lot of it has to do, I think, is because you're not really a truck driver.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the drivers were established for Sam Walton to kind of keep an eye on the stores, make sure that they're running smoothly, they're clean and all this other stuff, to just report back to him.
Hmm.
Because he was a guy that really wanted to make sure that things are running properly, but he also knew the psychological aspect of it, how to motivate people, how to, I think, create a work environment where people felt like they wanted to work out. Maybe I'm just painting it in too much of a good light, but it seems like, because they are the biggest distributor in the world. Like
Hmm.
they move more product than anybody. Not even Amazon moves more product than Walmart.
No
Uh,
way.
yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's crazy.
by a pretty good margin too. Yeah. Um, and and I think so. Like when he had a couple of stores, he was like, "All right, I'll drive there. I'll drive there." Then he had a few more stores, and he's like, "All right, man, I'm just gonna get myself a pilot's license." He started to fly to the different stores to make sure that he could keep an eye on it. He was like, "Man, I can't even do that anymore because there's too many stores. You know, like how am
Hmm.
I gonna um, make sure?" So he started to hire truck drivers. They'll go drop off and whatever, and they'll do like a little checklist. Okay, was this good? Was that good? Because obviously store manager is going to tell you one thing, but a truck driver that's going to different stores could tell you like unequivocally, like this, yes, no, this, that, no, yes, yes, you know.
Like what? You did these checklists, right?
We still have it in our system, but it's more kind of like,
Well, I'm saying
sort
you
of.
did them, right? Or you
Um,
didn't?
all we do is like at the end, everything good? Yes.
Nice.
But no, but
I thought you were
there's
checking on the store. It's like, all right, that
there
that
is kind of.
that
So
manager you
you
wanted me to
do
look into.
have
Yep,
a
it's correct.
that guy. No, but you do have a little checkbox in there that
Hmm.
you could put remarks and things like
Mm.
that. So if the store like over and over again like is not really on top of their things, you can just put that in there.
Like,
Now,
for example, forgot to open the store and you don't have a key, so you're just left there sitting.
well, for us, the biggest thing is there's a roll up door
Hmm.
that you have to knock on, and you're supposed to wait no longer than like 10 minutes. Somebody's supposed to answer it.
Hmm.
Sometimes there's nobody there, whatever, like call the front office or this, whatever. There's certain stores, man, like God bless their soul, man. Like you'll be there for 20 minutes and then like you have to walk around to the front. And even
It's a
then
huge
it's like,
store.
it's
Hmm.
not just that.
It's
There's
like, are you guys serious?
problems.
Yeah, you walk in, it's like, are you guys serious? And they're like, what do you want?
Yeah, there's been situations where you're just like kind of frustrated, like, all right, you guys, come on, like this is over and over again. So like, I mean, yeah, and if it's something like repetitive or whatever, or if it's just like a completely horrible thing that happened or interaction, or there's other things. I'm kind of newish, so I'm not sure what like they want us to,
Hmm.
kind of report back or communicate, whatever. You try not to be like a little, whiner, but
Yeah.
like if you can see that it could be helpful, not just to you, but to
Hmm.
everybody else, yeah, put a little remark in there, like quick little couple of sentences, and that gets looked over by someone, and then there's actually driver store relations guys, kind of like
Okay.
it's
Like an
another
HR?
driver. No, it's a driver. He's like a liaison. Like he's the cool guy that is he sees all these things, right? And he also drives around, and he has more kind of like a relationship with the managers. So he's like, hey, so we've been having like a lot of like remarks about this and this and this and whatever. Like, is there something that we could kind of help you guys so it's easier for you guys and something you guys could do so it helps us out? Because I could tell somebody, but when
Sounds
it's
like they read psychology before.
yeah, so it's done like very in a respectful way and
Hmm.
everything like that. Not like, hey, the computer told you didn't do that, blah blah. Your 3 years are up.
Hmm.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that creates a toxic work environment.
Hmm.
Like the way that they try to do it in Walmart is like, man, it's inspiring,
Hmm.
you know? Um, so yeah, maybe I'm just like woo woo Walmart too much, but like it's honestly like I've seen the bad, and I see that like at least they're trying very hard to create like this like nice little atmosphere for people to grow.
Hmm. Oh, yeah, that's good. Definitely puts Walmart in a new light for me. I've seen Walmart, and I didn't really see anybody suffering in there as much as I would imagine homies at Amazon are. But like,
Yeah, like now that you tell me that, I'm like, dang, that's how
it honestly, whenever I would think of Amazon, it would really put me back to the 1960s factories, if not 1920s.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, is this a step back? What is this? Just because you're a high tech company and doing something initiative, and I mean, like trying to push your company to this extent doesn't mean you have to treat your employees like they're factory workers, even though they are, right?
Yeah, but like again, I think Bezos, how he set it up, he means well, but he's not realizing that the whole system is flawed. Like he needs to zoom out. Like what kind of a
The
work
morale
environment? It's
aspect, yeah.
yeah, the morale is key, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, coming into work being excited and knowing that like they actually give a crap about you and you have great relations and you have a second to chat, whatever. But like, there's ways of making sure that you're productive and all that other stuff. That's way better than instead of like, I don't even have a chance to take my 10-minute break because by the time I get to, that sucks.
Do you order stuff from Amazon?
Yeah.
Same, a lot. Something came in yesterday,
All right.
and I don't know. Even though I'm putting them in a bad light to some extent, I always see the delivery driver walking in, dancing in headphones, bah, and it just like runs away. He's always in a rush, but I don't know. It's surprising how much motivation they have. They still have to motivate themselves a lot to be able to be keeping up with their quota, and it's interesting how they keep themselves optimistic in that sense. Like I see that all the time. Just pay attention to your delivery driver sometime.
Yeah.
You'll notice.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I'm thinking is like, okay, so Bezos is he's not thinking about, but he's going to be stepping down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just to be more of a baller,
Mhm.
go to not enough time to
Kind of like
have so much fun.
kind of like Steve Jobs getting a divorce. He's like, I don't need no woman.
No, when was that?
Recently?
Steve Jobs?
Oh my God, no. Bill Gates.
Oh.
You're
No,
like,
that
what?
was a different story. I think there were some deeper underlying issues that
Really?
she was
Th-
the
there-
one that was.
There was so much memes about it. Like he just doesn't care anymore. He's so happy after his divorce.
Yeah. No. So what I was trying to get at with that is hopefully like if he steps down
Hmm.
and he puts in somebody that's running a company that they've created an amazing work environment at, because that's what I think Amazon is lacking the most. There might be hope. They're very good at the efficiency part, but I think the turnover and all this other stuff, dude. And unfortunately, if that gets ingrained too much, it's like ripping, flesh out of your body. It's like a cancer, like
Mhm.
when you create that kind of environment.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe it's possible.
The hardest thing would be to do it and not lose a lot of efficiency, because that's their main goal: higher efficiency, cheaper products, cheaper delivery. That's their end goal. That's the reason why they're treating it like a factory job. They want to be successful. They want to get Walmart out of business, and to do that, they have to drive down prices at all costs. And I guess morale is just a cost that they're willing to spend.
Um,
That's what I think it is. That they've taken that into consideration. It's not like that they're too zoomed in or something. They just
are
simply
they
don't
taking
care.
into consideration that they're gonna eventually have this reputation,
Think about
and
McDonald's.
then nobody's gonna want to work for them, so they just basically are gonna rot from the inside?
McDonald's.
Yeah.
They pay higher than McDonald's, and McDonald's has an extremely high turnover rate as well. Much higher, arguably, than Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon said 3 years, get out of here. How long do you work at McDonald's?
3 months, and you're like, nah, I don't want to do this. Okay, yeah, but you're dealing with much more than just hamburgers over there, right?
Mhm.
And then if you are hiring, that's kind of like your pool that you're hiring from for management to go up,
Same
right?
thing, right?
So you're getting a bad pool of people. that like they don't have any other option but to work at Amazon. You know, like
Um,
I'm being extreme, but I'm
they
saying
have
like,
so many people. As I said, 1%, 2% is all they need to move up. Just because your pool of people is bad does not mean you have one happy child. You get to choose one and be like, all right, I like you.
but yeah, again,
and that will be different.
if you're gonna be in the upper management, and now the same corporate culture is there as well. You know what I mean? What like who's like okay. So here's a good example, right? You might think so there's always like you could do like little experiments like little ducks, right? And you see one is like very like type A, go getter, whatever, you know, like awesome little ducky, you know. And then you see another one. And you see another one, you might think like, dude, I'm gonna put in a duck army of just these go getters, ass kickers.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what they start doing? Kicking each other's ass.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're creating that kind of environment where in order to succeed, it's a dog eat dog world, it'll eat itself from the inside.
I see your point, but also you mentioned that the management's gonna have a similar vibe to what the rest of the employees are. There, it's hard for me to agree with that because there's obviously training that goes into being a manager. As I mentioned, they only pick people that have they show exceptional knowledge of managing from the very beginning. They see that, they pick that person in a way it's not like set in stone or anything, but they treat that person differently. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And they portray the different vibe that they need for management. They also put them through different lessons, through different trainings that everybody else just simply doesn't get because it's like, okay, we either have enough management or you just didn't qualify.
Okay. Like you were saying, you could train all you want, but real world, I don't know if you've been into companies like where you get all this fluff and the training and everything, and then you go in your job and it's completely not that because they haven't set up the environment in order for that training to be effective. Like, oh, be nice. Duh, duh, duh. But it's like, if you're just worried about losing your job, even if you're in management,
Get your
because
shit together.
yeah, it's not gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if it's like at the bottom level, if it's like that, I could only imagine how it's higher up. It's probably even more of a pressure cooker.
I bet. I haven't looked into much of management. I just was really curious on that bottom line and the factory workers. Unfortunately,
But I would assume
yeah,
I don't think it would be drastically different.
I see your point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
As long as I get the job done according to Jeff, right?
yeah, but like I said, you're literally creating an environment that you probably are not going to be happy in either.
Here's a thought. They're trying to replace as much employees with machines as possible. What if they view them as a temporary placeholder? All these employees, they don't care about morale. They don't care about keeping them. They're.
Listen, your machines
Mhm.
interact with humans. Let's
So you're
say
gonna you're
even
gonna
if
need
you
less
treat
humans in that
your
case.
workers as machines, right?
Hmm.
Now, if you can't keep those humans happy, you know, like okay, I don't care. Like I just want my stuff to get here on time, all this other stuff. I don't care about that. But there have been corporations that over time, like people are just like, I don't like the way that they do things. You know, like the image kind of becomes, uh, like I don't know, they got a stink on them. You know?
Are we really gonna debate one day delivery?
No. But let's think of it this way, right? Yeah, I guess like it is ruthless like that, right?
Hmm.
But man, I think if you want to succeed and strive for the future, for the long haul, you can't create that kind of environment because it'll eat itself from the inside.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I see your point. That's why Amazon is an exception. Because my previous point where they're going autonomous, not yet. but that is their end goal. They do not want many employees.
Oh, okay.
Right now they're pushing the marketing of, okay, look how many jobs we've made. Look how many factories we have for all these employees, and we're serving and we have our jobs much above minimum wage, $16 an hour, $16 an hour with a $2,000 signing bonus. They're looking for new employees. That's their marketing. That's what it is right now.
Yeah.
And they're trying to run through them every 3 years. I mean, $2,000. They're obviously trying to keep this rotation going. Imagine if nobody wants to quit and you have no people coming in. Your wheel doesn't spin. This machine is no longer lubricated. That's why they're pushing more people
Okay.
to sign on and old people to leave. Not old people, but 3 years plus, right?
Yeah.
But their end goal is being autonomous. If you ever
Yeah,
saw a
like
video
just
of how they work, almost everything's already run. Not almost everything, but like it's very mechanical the way the building is operated.
yeah, your time is limited. You're just there until they could replace you with a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or somebody else who has more motivation to work than you.
Yeah.
But a robot doesn't get tired.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So, and back to my point, you were saying this could eat them up from the inside. Assuming that, I don't think so, because I don't know of a better way to do this 1 day delivery with the psychological aspect of us humans being lazy and not wanting to go to a store and not wanting to go to Walmart, right? A place that has a good work environment, for example.
Yeah.
Well, okay, 1 day delivery, Amazon. I could wait till tomorrow. That's not that big of a deal. I could literally have everything shipped, and it's a guarantee that it's going to be shipped because autonomous.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're talking about drones and all this other stuff. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like
And
you just hope that it's not the same kind of environment in the management, because let's say if most of your company is run by robots, the grunt work, if the management is kind of trying to eat the other management, like I don't think it's going to be helpful. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like I guess we'll just see.
what about this?
Yeah.
There's a big workforce working at Amazon right now, right?
Mhm.
Once it goes autonomous, what's going to happen?
All those people are going to go back to McDonald's.
Is McDonald's going to blow up, or I mean, it's not that it's not already blown up, but
McDonald's is
how big
going
of
to like everything automated anyways.
how big of an economic problem do you think the United States will have, assuming that Amazon goes autonomous?
Everybody said that when, new technology came around. We'll figure it out.
Yes, that's true, but there could also be a crash. There's going to be so many people unemployed that nobody could buy things, and that makes the economic wheel, harder to spin. And
Or like a lot of people went from buying things to selling things, and now they have a job.
sure, mm-hmm.
So like you just adapt. It's unfortunate for some people. They're gonna get lost by the wayside, but it's like some people are screaming and yelling for the government to take care of them.
Yep,
The government is
definitely.
just other people. They can be taking care of themselves, not you.
I mean, you say that in a very optimistic sense, where you expect people to be able to take care of themselves.
Oh
which,
yeah,
which is
no,
ironic because that's not how most people are.
yeah. But again, like if you have the right kind of kids, you would teach them how to take care of themselves.
We
If
could
you
do
have
that.
the right kind of country, you would teach people to take care of themselves.
And how were we taught throughout our school years? Were we taught to be able
Jack
to
shit.
Exactly? You can't.
But we were just told, like, by the time
Parents
you were 18, strap up your bootstraps and just, take care of yourself.
Parents, school, and self-education is where you learn the most, and you can't control two of those, or three for that matter.
Well, then I think the educational system needs to be revamped a little bit.
I've been thinking that for the longest time. Just being able to prepare somebody to actually survive and live their life. No, it's somewhat in a business sense, but not really. You don't want everybody to be self-employed businessmen, obviously.
Hmm.
There has to be some of the factory workers, there has to be some of the farmers, and just simply just people to do things that not everybody wants to do. There's the reason they exist. But you can't train everybody like that.
Yeah, no, okay, but like, how do you in the school train people to find what they're good at and to be able to adapt to new things and just pursue the things
Financial
that they're
education.
financial education, self-improvement education, all that is important. Like, we're just sitting there literally wasting 18 years on almost like, because in Russia, like, by the time you're in third grade, you're learning stuff that, like, sixth graders are learning here. So it's
Hmm.
almost like they're dragging on too much, like, oh, let's just do this so we can get the paycheck. We need 12 grades. Um, Instead, like, do other things besides like reading, writing, and arithmetic,
It's
like,
day 1276 and I still haven't used calculus.
right. So like, you have to find out which kids want to do calculus or whatever they're
Hmm.
gifted, and like encourage them in that, or instill that into a kid that, like, hey, you can do what you want, but you're not going to be able to do everything.
Hmm.
So figure out what you're good at, ride that rocket ship into space. Because if you're just going to be focusing on math when you're obviously crappy at math,
Yeah.
you're just going to be stuck at the docking station your
Hmm.
whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I don't know what goes into making a school system. What type of laws go into place or need to be put into place um to allow certain subjects or require certain subjects for that matter to get a high school diploma, for example, because you obviously don't need a college diploma it's better, but you'd need a high school diploma for many basic jobs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the bare minimum. That's where the most change needs to be done. I There's definitely classes that are extremely irrelevant to all of our lives, and it just bothers me the fact that we need a lot of those classes to graduate college instead of, as we mentioned, financial education, knowing how to pay your bills. And
Yeah.
there was a class in college that I actually took. It's like, look, this is how you pay your bills. The class was a joke. That's what it was. You're there, it's an enrichment class, and you get your points at the end of the class and call it a day. Sure. um
It's like
the
elective. It's
it's
not
yeah,
even,
it's
yeah.
nothing crazy, but like there should also be a concepts like, look, this is the only time you're actually gonna be listening to this. Let's actually take it seriously. The professor, I had a professor there. She did not take the class seriously at all, and I was in college, right?
Wow.
And I can imagine if we were to theoretically implement this into high school, it's a very strong possibility that that same thing could happen. Probably is a big reason why it doesn't exist.
But she failed. I think the concept was good, but the execution was poor.
I mean, there's specific homeworks that are required. It's like, look, you have to write 3 essays to graduate this class, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a requirement for many history classes, many English classes, and you learn how to write. Believe it or not, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
there should be some sort of preliminary requirement for something like that that actually makes you think.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, all we were doing there was watching and taking notes, maybe like a little quiz. It was nothing. Honestly, I learned
I
more.
personally
Learned
took
more from experience.
I personally took a self-development class in college, and that was just like, for electives, you needed to, like, couple of credits of electives.
Exactly.
So I was like, dude, well, I kind of want to find out what exactly I want to do, and the professor was amazing.
It's
Like,
probably the same thing that I did, but different professor. Go ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just like that should be more like in high school or
Mm-hmm.
junior high, instead of like, you could take it if you want in college. You know what I mean?
I for sure understand what you mean. How was it different? Because for me, it was pointless. I felt like I wasn't doing anything meaningful while going there. How was it beneficial for you?
Okay, so the professor, first off, first day in class, walks in with this just stupid outfit.
Good start.
yeah, like this a wig we didn't know at the time, and like this nose,
Okay.
and like these glasses, and he comes in, acting like, and he did it pretty good. We were just like, this guy's gonna be our, self-development guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like he kept it up for about like 5 minutes, and then he
I
just
got him.
throws it off. Yeah, he's like, so you could literally, you know, this might be how you feel that this class is going to be, but it's about like, finding out what you want to do. And it's you could feel that way right now, like I was looking, but you could turn into whatever you want to be. So he really took it passionately, and the kind of subjects that we covered, the kind of books that he wanted us to read, or articles, and the kind of like thinking exercises that we were doing. It was like, think about what you want to do in the future. Like, it instilled in us like that kind of goal setting and all that stuff. I wish I was paying attention even more, and there was more stuff, because it was for the first time that I ever heard about thinking about life that way.
Okay.
Instead of like, you just gotta pass that test and you gotta know this, it was like, what the hell do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that should be in every junior high, and it should be an ongoing thing, like reading, writing, and arithmetic, self-development.
Yes. Agreed. 100%. No, the world would be a better place if people knew what the hell they wanted from their own lives.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And unless little bitches would be sitting there whining about, my life sucks, whatever. Dude, it sucks sometimes, yeah. But if you have that kind of guidance from a young age, you could self-correct
Mm-hmm.
and find your way.
Definitely.
But how many people had that influence in their life? Not a whole lot. Some were fortunate to, find on Instagram some inspiration from this person, from this video that they watched, and they're like, oh, I should probably read that book, or think about, doing this to help myself improve. Some people are never exposed to that, and are never gravitated towards that. So guess what? Their life kind of, maybe by luck, ends up good, or a lot of times just in shambles.
Yeah. It's crazy, but I actually have a buddy of mine who's also wild in his own way. He is planning on opening up his own business in Idaho. He's married. He's my age, and both him and his wife are working 2 jobs right now. They said they're working 70 to 75 hours a week.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he managed to hang out with me yesterday. So he made time, right? It's crazy. And he is planning on opening up a print shop in Idaho.
Okay.
And he's working for a print shop, and he's working for a pizza place. That's his 2 jobs as a delivery driver. So you get cash money for that.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how like I looked at his schedule, and he's like, all right, here's my window. I'm only saving this window for you, because he's like one of my best friends, right? Damn. And I'm like, it baffles me. I thought I had a lot of self-motivation, right? And this guy's planning on moving to Idaho. I was like, shoot, should I follow you or what?
Right?
Yeah.
If you're inspired.
22, by the way.
Dang, nice. A lot of these 22-year-olds kicking ass, man. I think when you're inspired like that, that's puts a fire under your ass. It's not even a sacrifice to you anymore. It's just like, dude, I am 110% going towards my goal.
Yeah, you like wonder. It's like, for example, Elon Musk. I could almost compare him to Elon Musk, right? Just the work dedication, how long you're working, and just like, okay, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of the day, and this is what I'm going to be doing. Sure, Elon Musk could be more on the thinking side of it. Meanwhile, him's just like putting in the hours so I could achieve an end goal, right?
Yeah.
But just, you need a whole lot of self-motivation to not just like throw the towel and be like, I'm done. I'm so done with this. And it's just crazy thinking about that, right?
Yeah. Like Musk, dude, he works crazy hours too, but I think for him it's not really that tiring, or it's not that work.
He's used
that
to
much
it.
work. Yeah. He's used to it, but he's also inspired by it. Like, he's driven by it.
He wants to go to Mars.
Yeah.
That's a big goal.
He's got a big goal.
Shoot for the stars, right?
I admire those kind of people. I'm
Mhm.
slightly jealous. I'm like, man, I got to find something like
Mhm.
that, that like really motivates me, and I just keep on that track and just go to the moon. You know what I mean? I mean,
Elon's not stopping there.
yeah, yeah, he's going to Mars. No, but like I found that like I just need to try a lot of different things,
Mhm.
and I'll or maybe not try a lot of different things. I just need to stick to something, and that will eventually inspire me to, you know, put in more and more work because I'll be more and more obsessed with it, and then it's unstoppable. But I don't know. Maybe I have ADD or something.
No, that's relatable.
Right?
Yeah. It's hard to stay focused for long periods of time without taking like a little break.
Yeah, yeah. Like, or just falling out of love with it or whatever. And, but like, yeah, you got to admire those people that could really stick on track with something like
Mhm.
that. I don't know. Um, I mean, for you, it seems like it's real estate, but you're not like that crazy like your friend is. But maybe that's not healthy either. I don't know.
There's two sides to the coin. I had to have a conversation with him. I was like, "What about social life?"
Yeah.
I was like concerned. He showed me his calendar. I was like, "Damn, bro," you know,
Y-
and it was insane. Just I was like, "Bro, do you need a hug? This is
Yeah.
bad."
Because like also,
Comes home, his wife's sleeping.
yeah, yeah, a lot of those marriages kind of fall apart.
No, he's
They
doing
even
good, but
Yeah.
like still, it's hard
I've
on the
seen it 20
relationship.
years later,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
And it's like you don't even know the person that you're, sleeping in the same bed with
Mhm.
anymore because you guys are so busy out there doing everything else. You achieved amazing success, but you never really dedicated time for each other. So, um yeah, I don't know. It's a fine balance, but I guess if you're very driven and motivated, who knows?
Yeah, who could stop you?
Yeah.
More realistically.
I mean, look at Musk, man. He's on his
He,
fourth marriage, I think.
he's the definition of unstoppable, if you ask me.
Yeah. He's like,
Try to break his motivation.
oh, it's not possible.
He'll laugh at you.
Yeah. No, he's a very smart dude, man.
Hmm.
Like it's surprising just how smart he is in so many ways. So, um,
Fourth marriage? When I was reading his book, he was on two.
yeah, yeah. I think fourth. Yeah, but for different, who knows? You
Hmm.
can't judge a guy by that. Who knows? I'm uh, I'm basically facing my second one.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it happens. You have to find what will drive you and motivate you no matter what. Um, and there will be setbacks. Let's say like into the future, like you're pretty young, but there's gonna be some huge roadblocks and
Hmm.
setbacks in life or whatever. But just like your grandpa, you know, he just kept at it. He
Yeah, for
didn't let it,
sure.
keep him down and everything like that. That's inspirational. And I think if we all try to pursue that more, then your life will be a lot more rewarding. All that would be even sweeter, like all the financial success, all the career success, everything else. If you found in yourself that you could just, no matter what's going on, just be cool. So yeah.
That's a fair point. I mean, I definitely agree with it.
So давай, man. Next time we'll chat. We'll see how you're going on your real estate stuff. Actually, like right now, um, you've been working with Andre for how many years already?
Let's see. About a year and a half maximum.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you're pretty young into it. Like, are you willing to talk like kind of what your kind of goals are in the next 5 years or
Sure. Let's see, 2 to 5 years. I'm gonna go big. I want a house.
okay?
I want to buy myself a house within the
Nice.
next 2.5 to 5 years. That was the time frame you gave me. I'm gonna buy a house by then.
Nice.
And reason I'm saying that is also because of a little bit Elon Musk said, if you shoot for the stars, you're at least gonna be landing at the moon.
That's right. That's true.
So I want to buy a house. I want to be able to be starting a family around that time and be in a healthy relationship. And that is a lot, and hopefully it'll motivate me even more to just commit myself, just put in the hours. There's a lot of motivation from this conversation that we had today. I'm surprised on how much motivation just simply surrounds me, and I should even take that more to heart now.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to my buddy Russ on the last podcast, and what he talks about is he just has a routine in the morning that he journals, kind of gets his thoughts in order, has focuses on like the short term, midterm, and long term plans that he has. And then I think goes for a walk, and while he's walking, he's thinking about like how he's going to achieve those things. And then like for me, I just took it like, all right, and then by the time you're done with all that, you're so pumped and motivated just to go out there and start kicking ass.
I like that.
So
That's
have
good.
a routine like in the morning that sets you on the right track.
My routine in the morning is different. It's more like get up, force yourself to fly out of bed because you're really tired in the morning, or me specifically. It's hard for me to fall asleep, but to get up is even harder.
Yeah.
But what I do is I'd be looking over properties. I make sure I look at all the properties that came into the market on that day. So whenever somebody asked me about a property, I was like, oh, well, I've seen it. Just give me a second. I'll try to remember it. So I already know exactly which property they're talking about because it came out that exact same day. And that puts me on a right track where I'm always on top of it. But that is pretty mundane because a lot of properties come out.
Yeah.
So it could be a little bit draining, which could be negatively affecting my day. I like what you said there. Yeah. And I might even give that a try.
Yeah, give yourself space and time in the morning to really think about things. Like just dedicate that time. And yeah, like I've noticed I wasn't really doing that. You just get up, by the time you have your coffee, you're kind of like wandering, You're not focused on anything. You're not
morning haze, right?
Yeah. But like slowly start, like I just started writing down. I have like a 1 year, a 2 to 5 year, and a 10 year.
I've been writing a journal just personally since I was 15. Just because it'd be really interesting. As soon as this was around the time when I kind of had that epiphany to myself. That's when I started reading those psychology books, and I realized I was like, the way I'm thinking now is going to be insanely different than what I'm thinking when I'm 18. And after I'm 18 to 25, there's also going to be a big change. After that, it's going to be a lot more similar. Just the development's going to be slower, if not stagnant. So I'm going to be extremely curious when I'm much older to see how I developed from 15 to 18 to 25, because even my writing, my handwriting changed. Yeah, I could see in the 15-year-old text that there's like errors, and I'm like, that's bad, and it's really interesting looking back at that stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy I did that.
Yeah, I was looking back at some of my writing when I came across it like a couple of years ago, and I was like, oh my God, man, who is this kid? Like, it's embarrassing. Yeah. But I guess you shouldn't be embarrassed, because it's like, that's what you came from. That's not you anymore. So that's
you evolve. Everybody grows up.
Yeah. No, brother, this was fun.
It was. Thank you for having me.
We'll do it again, man.
For sure.
Awesome.